everyone. So I'm very excited to be able to demonstrate the new Thermomix Cutter for you. So I have got my little hands on it, and I have to tell you that it is even better than I thought it was going to be. So here's the cutter. And as you will have seen, the cutter is now available as a host reward. So from now until the end of February, if you host a cooking experience and you invite 2 people along, you will be able to unlock a very special price on the cutter. So the full price will be $199, but for inviting 2 friends along, you do get a 20% discount, and so it brings the price down to $159. And if one of your guests makes the very wise decision to invest in a Thermomix, then you will actually receive your cutter for free. At the moment, hosting is the only way to get your hands on a cutter. In a few months' time, it will be available in the mix shop at the $199 price point. But if you want to get your hot little hands on it early and now so you can get playing, then definitely start thinking about which 2 friends you could invite to a cooking experience so that you have access to this amazing host reward. So I'm going to show you 2 recipes today, and they are recipes that we have specially chosen for cooking experiences just because they show off how amazing the cutter really is. So the first recipe is the quick sliced pickle. And along with showing you the cutter, I am also going to show you the incredible vacuum seal container and the vacuum seal wand. And that is actually our gift with purchase for the rest of January. So if your guest buys, they get the awesome vacuum seal container and wand, and they help you earn your cutter for free. So it's a win-win situation. So with the quick sliced pickle, what we do is the start of the recipe actually involves making the pickling liquid. And I'm not going to show you that today. I have pre-made the pickling liquid, but I will talk you through how that was done. So I used 150 grams of apple cider vinegar, I used 60 grams of caster sugar and 150 grams of water. And all I did was I cooked that up for 3 minutes at 100 degrees on speed 2. And instead of the measuring cup, I used the simmering basket on top of the lid, and that's because we were over 95 degrees, so it's that safety thing. And then what I've done is I've set the pickling liquid aside to cool, and we are just going to crack on into making the pickle. So let me show you how we actually pop the cutter into the Thermomix bowl. So this is the shaft, and what we do is we actually pop the shaft into the bowl. So just like with your butterfly, you just make sure that you pop it between the blades and it just sits securely. And then next we put the basket into the bowl. So that's the basket. Now the fantastic thing about the cutter is that because we are cutting into the basket, we actually don't dirty the bowl. So less dishes to do at the end, which is amazing. Now for this recipe, we are going to be using the cutter with side 1 up. Now, side 1 is the slicing side and side 2 is the grating side. A better way to remember this is that gray is for grating and slate is for slicing. And so if we want slicing, we're going to use slate, and that has to be facing up. So we're going to pop that onto the shaft in the little basket. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop the cutter lid into position. So it just slots in place. And this is the feeder. So it has a narrower hole and it has a wider hole. So we do need a cucumber. And this is, oh, that's not a cucumber, that's a zucchini. Here's my cucumber. And what I've done is I've just given it a wash and I've chopped both ends off. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the wide part of the feeder. We're then going to insert the pusher, and we are going to go, so there are 2 options. One is thin and one is thick. Now if you're using this on manual mode, it'll depend whether your blades are going clockwise or anti-clockwise. That's what will determine the thickness of the slices. But because this is in guided cooking, we can actually just see there are 2 options, and we are going to be turning it to thick. So we'll get the pusher ready and we'll just go thick. Let me show you how quick it is. There you go, and you just stop it. So quick, like I could not chop that quickly. So let me show you quickly what that looks like. So there we have it. So that is our cucumber. Perfect, uniformly cut cucumber. Amazing, in seconds. What we're going to do now is we are going to pop some radish. So we've got 5 radishes. Again, they're going into the wide part of the cutter. Right, so just pop them in like that. I'll grab my pusher. Now, I've done this before, and I've just done it again, and you'll probably do this when you get your cutter. You'll actually put the vegetables in the feeder. That doesn't work. So let's try again. I promise you you'll do this, and you'll remember when I did it. So what we're going to do now, we've got the radish in there, and this time we're actually going thin. So here we go. So easy. Right, so let me show you that quickly. Wow. So now you can see those radishes, they are wafer thin. So you can see the difference. So that's the cucumber, thicker, and then our radishes, which are thinner. And then the next step is actually to pop red onions. So we need 2 red onions. And again, we are going to, they obviously have to fit into the feeder. So I am actually going to chop these in half. There you go. In there. And we've got another one as well. And again, this time we are going to go thin again. So getting ready to thin, having the other ones ready to go. How easy is that? So I'd love for you to start thinking about what you would like to slice up with your cutter. Just think of how much time this amazing accessory is actually going to save you. So let me show you that. That has just completely sliced that onion up. It's amazing, isn't it? So exciting. So let's move that backwards, and now I'm actually going to introduce you to the vacuum seal container. So I am going to pop all of the sliced vegetables into this container. There you go. Alright, it's perfect. Spatula works really well for this. Scrape it all out. Good. And then what we're going to do is we are going to pour over our pre-made pickling liquid. Now I did make a double batch of the pickling liquid because I'm going to be using it for both. So I'm just gonna have to kind of work out how much approximately half is. And we're just gonna pour that in here. Yeah, I'd say that that's probably about half. And then we're gonna push that down and try and make sure that our vegetables are completely covered. I'll pour just a tiny bit more in here. There you go. So hard to know what half is. When you make this at home, you'll be fine because you will, just do half a batch. There we go, that's looking a lot better. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to pop the lid onto the vacuum sealer. So what it has this amazing dial. And we can actually set, so today's the 18th, so the outer ring we set to 18, and the inner ring we set to 1 for January. So we know exactly when we made this pickle. We then put the lid on, and then we just grab a handy little vacuum. And what we're gonna do is we pop that. Now you can see there's a little white button, and at the moment the button is popped up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pop that over the central bit, and we're just gonna turn it on. And we will know that all the air has been sucked out when that little white thing pops up. So there you go, heard it pop. And as soon as it's popped, we can stop. So you can see that's popped down now, and that means that all the air has actually been sucked out of here. So these are amazing for keeping things fresh. So you can pop your fruit, your vegetables, anything that you want to seal up, and that will just extend the life. So yeah, we've got all our beautiful pickled vegetables in here. So the recipe does say to set this aside for at least 2 days to let everything mature and just get all beautiful together, and it does keep in the fridge for up to a month. So this is fantastic on burgers. You could just eat it out of here, probably, that's what I do. You could have it with cheese and crackers. You could just have it as an accompaniment to your dinners. So that's an amazing pickle. So how easy is that? And I'd love for you to start thinking about the things that you might slice up with your new Thermomix cutter. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the next recipe. And the next recipe, let's just find it in here, is also for a pickle, but this one is actually for a grated pickle. So we've seen the slicing, and now we are going to see the grating. So again, you're going to need that pickling liquid, and lucky I made a double batch so that we have some left. And what we're going to do, I'm not going to actually wash this because it's all pickle, right? So I'm just going to reuse it. We've still got the shaft in there. We've got that bowl back in. We're going to skip past the bit where we make the pickling liquid. What we're going to do this time is we need to put the cutter in. We've got to go slate, which is the darker one, and that is for slicing. So that's, oh no, a lie. We're doing grating now. So what we're going to do now is we are going to put the grating side up, so grey for grating. I'm going to pop that back in place. Again, we are going to put the lid onto the Thermomix cutter. Take out the pusher, and this time we're using zucchini and we're using carrot. So zucchini in there, and we are going to grate thick. Perfect. And then I'll just go straight into the carrots. And again, we are going to grate these thick. So that in there, and so easy. Perfect. And that is it. So grated zucchini, grated carrots. So I'd love for you to start thinking about what you might grate with your cutter when you have one as an accompaniment to your Thermomix. So let me show you what that looks like. So that's grated, that's our zucchini. So easy. So I did grate cheese the other night as well, which was just mind-blowing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop that in with some pickling liquid as well. So some of you might be saying, hey, I don't have a vacuum seal yet, and I don't have the vacuum wand yet. You can use a sterilized jar and just pop the vegetables in there. Going to take you a little bit longer because you kind of have to feed them in. There we go. What you could use is you could use the funnel. So I actually have a funnel. Let me go and grab that because that will make life a lot easier. There you go. So if you're using a jar, you might want a funnel. Perfect. So this does make quite a lot of pickle. So you probably could have 2 jars, depending on the size of your jar. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pour that pickling liquid in. Perfect. And then just remember to push it down so that everything is nicely submerged. And then we're going to close that up. So there you have it. That's your grated pickle. And here we have our sliced pickle. So that is the cutter. available at the moment as a host reward, and I do think, you know, it's the attachment that we have been waiting for. So definitely start thinking about how you would use a cutter in your kitchen, and definitely start thinking about the 2 people who you could show the Thermomix to be able to earn yourself this amazing host reward. So I hope this has been of service to you, and if you need any more information about earning the cutter, please reach out. There is another way to earn the cutter, and that is actually to join the team. So at the moment, if you join us and you train up to become a Thermomix consultant, you can, when you sell 3 Thermomixes in your 60 days, you will earn yourself a blade cover potato peeler and the cutter. So that's a great way to get your hands on them. We always have our earn offer, which is sell 6 Thermomixes in your 60 days, get your 1 free. So there has definitely never been a better time to join the business. And if that's something that you're curious about, then I would love to talk to you about that more.